Welcome class. Today we are going to talk about the last chapter of the last unit, that is price determination, and under this we are going to understand about market equilibrium under perfect competition and what are the effects of the shifts in demand and supply under perfect competition. Whenever we hear about the word market equilibrium, we think about the word market where there is demand and supply of goods, and equilibrium means balance. So what is the basic definition of market equilibrium? It is defined as the state of the market when demand for a commodity is equal to its supply corresponding to a particular price. That means if I say in a market the demand for biscuits is of 100 units and the supply of biscuits in the market is also of 100 units. When these two become equal, it is said that the market is in equilibrium, or there is a balance between the demand and supply corresponding to a particular price. Say at rupees 50, the customers are ready to buy. When the producers are selling the biscuits at rupees 50, the customers are ready to buy it at rupees 50. And the number of demand in the economy is equal to the number of supply. In this case, we see market equilibrium. Now we will see the next topic, determination of market equilibrium under perfect competition. So under perfect competition, market equilibrium is determined by the forces of these three factors. So what are these three forces? First, we have market demand. Second, we have market supply. Market demand and market supply. When we are talking about market demand and market supply, children, we are talking about the whole of the economy. We are not talking about a simple individual or an individual firm or an individual industry, yeah, or neither for the purpose of supply we are talking about individual person or consumer. Here we are going to talk about market demand and market supply as a total of the economy. Now, what is market demand? It is said it is the sum total of demand for a commodity by all the buyers in the market. Its curve slopes downwards due to operation of law of demand. That means the number of demand, suppose there is demand 1 by 1%, demand 2 by 2nd person, and demand 3 by 3rd person till n number of demands. So the total or summation of these demands gives market demand. If we talk about market supply, it is the sum total of supplies of all commodity by all the producers in the market. Naturally, if the demand is being made by different individuals, the supply will also be made by different producers and so on. So the summation of the demand gives market demand and the summation of the supply gives market supply. Now let us understand this with the help of an example. Let us understand the determination of market equilibrium of chocolates, assuming that market for chocolates is perfectly competitive. So here we see a table of the price of chocolates. The price is ranging from rupees 2 to rupees 10. Market demand of chocolates in units is going from 100 to 20. The market demand is decreasing. Market supply of chocolate in units is increasing, that is, it is going from 20 to 100. If we see the shortage or surplus, here we will see that market supply, if you combine these two columns, if you compare these two columns, the demand in the first case is more and in the supply case it is less. So what happens? Shortage of 80 units. Then when the demand is 80 units, supply is 40 units. So the difference is how much? It is minus 40. This stage where it is showing that demand is more than supply, we say that it is excess in demand. Then when the demand of chocolate is 60 units, the supply is also 60 units. Here the difference is 0. Therefore, we attain a state of equilibrium. Then as and when the demand for the chocolate goes down, the supply increases. Here we can see that when the demand has decreased from 60 to 40, over here it has increased, the supply has increased from 60 to 80. So how much is the difference over here? Plus 40. And when the demand is 20 units, here the supply is 100 units. So over here again what do we see? The excess supply. That means in this particular this table we can say that in this particular table over here if you see the difference between the two, it is of 40 units and 80 units. That means there is excess in supply. Here we see that supply is greater than demand. That means whatever is the demand in the economy after attaining equilibrium, it is decreasing. It is decreasing, but the supply over here is increasing. Therefore, when we take out the difference, that is supply minus demand, we see the surplus of the units. Okay, so let us now represent this in the graphical format. As you can see, if you plot these points in the graph, the pink line is for the supply curve and the green line is for the demand curve. There is a point where you can see that at price 6, the quantity, they are merging. The demand and the supply curve are merging when the quantity is of 60 units. So here this point is known as equilibrium. Above this equilibrium, we have excess supply, and below this equilibrium, we have excess demand in the market. As we have seen that both sellers and buyers are negotiating to buy and sell chocolates. Both have different prices to offer. Buyers will like to pay as low as possible and the sellers will like to charge as high as possible. Who are the buyers? Who are the buyers over here? It is us, the consumers. And who are the sellers over here who wants to sell prices at higher rate? These are the producers. Naturally, producers want to earn profit, so they want to keep the prices high. And we buyers, it is not our profit that if we buy something from any shop, we will get money. So that is why naturally, whenever we go to any shop, we always bargain to get it at a lower price. But market equilibrium will be determined only when both agree to a common price and a common quantity at that price. That means at rupees 6, if we see in this particular market, at rupees 6, if the equilibrium is attained, that means both the buyers and the sellers are ready to sell. The buyers are ready to consume the product at rupees 6 of 60 units and the seller is ready to sell at rupees 6 for 60 units. In this particular time, in this particular situation, we attain the equilibrium. With price increase from rupees 2 to rupees 4 in the market. Here is the price column. When it is increasing from rupees 2 to rupees 4, market demand falls from 100 to 80. See, the demand is falling down from rupees 100 to, from 100 units to 80 units of chocolates. And market supply rises from 20 to 40 units. Market demand curve, that is your green curve over here, DD, and market supply curve, the pink curve, they intersect at each other at point E where equilibrium is attained. Now, why any other price is not the equilibrium price? There are two reasons. Any price above rupees 6, see, from here the price is going higher up. Okay, it is not the equilibrium price as the resulting surplus, that is excess supply, would cause competition among sellers. Because every shop, say either it is A, B, C, D or E shops, they will have excess of supply, isn't it? And what happens when there is excess of supply? The shopkeepers or the sellers try to sell as much as possible, otherwise it will be a loss for them. Now, any price below rupees 6 is also not equilibrium price. This is because due to excess of demand, buyers would be ready to pay higher prices to meet their demand. As a result, price would rise up to equilibrium of rupees 6 because they need that particular material, they need the particular chocolate. So when the buyers are ready to increase their prices, then this over here we see excess of demand in the economy. That is the reason in these particular regions we do not see any equilibrium.